Good afternoon, YouTube.
Is it afternoon? It's
It
afternoon.
It is.
This is Aaron and Tammy with a sold out marriage
Yes, we are.
video vlog, YouTube
Yeah.
vlog.
Yeah.
We are presenting a different topic than we had originally planned to present today.
That's true.
And that original topic was about the book we just recently finished publishing. We had copies. We were going to show you one, and the book is so popular that copy got sold out right out of our hands.
Yeah, like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you get your copy while you can, like right now.
Yeah, so go check it out on Amazon, amazon.com. It is put in the full description of the book. It's called The Beginning of a Journey to a Sold Out Marriage. But that being said, we're switching topics.
Yep, switching topics to
reset.
Oh,
That's the name of it.
You got it. I was going to say it, but you got it.
Oh, I said it first.
Yeah.
Beat you to it. So, reset. So we wanted to talk to you about resetting. Sometimes we have to do that in our marriages, and we just want to come before you and present to you that happens to us too. And so what we mean by that is that this last, really January, we started to recognize that we were off.
We were off, we were dragging, we were inconsistent with intimacy lifestyle, we were, let's say, we went through the list. Coffee breaks were non-existent.
Yeah.
Yes. What else?
Date night was there.
Inconsistent.
But we didn't initiate well. Yeah, a little bland. We just, all of the tools, I guess we could say it this way, all of the tools that we've learned that keep us growing and keep us connected emotionally, we were not doing very well at, and
they were catching dust.
And I feel like once we published our book, it was like the veil lifted, and all of a sudden we recognized how many things have just been put on the back burner. And that happens. There's phases of your life where in our marriage that's definitely happened. And so the important part is that we recognized it. We started fighting a lot. That kind of tends to be our red flag, is that we start having a very specific kind of fight. Not pleasant, but it gives us that red flag that we needed to go, gosh, why can we not work through this? And even so much as to say that most of our fights, not all of them, but most of them, we can usually sit down later and be able to work through the issue. And we couldn't even get past that. It's every time we sat down, we were just struggling. And so we put on the calendar a coffee break, and decided that we were going to just reset everything. And we did. And now we're 2-3 weeks later. It's like we bounced back, but we didn't just bounce back a little. We are on fire. The last couple of weeks have we've been just connecting so well on every level, sexually, emotionally, recreationally, like everything. And I feel like it was that moment when we recognized things weren't going well to, okay, what are we going to do about it? Right? Which is probably the biggest, if I could get anything across, would be that you have to be intentional and you have to take action. And I recognized that in a point where I was posting something to kind of get my mind flowing on some things. But when I started writing, it made me recognize, okay, it's great to journal, like getting things out. It's great to journal. It's great to sit there and pray, kind of venting about what you're frustrated about. But there's a whole new level to that for us, which is, okay, but now what are we going to do about it? And so we took action. We put a coffee break, or a state of our marriage. I think that day it felt a little more like a state of our marriage conversation, but we put it on the calendar. I think I came to you and just said, we've got to do something. And so we put it on the calendar, and we went through every single one of those. We were like, okay, how's intimacy lifestyle? Oh, this is what we need to do. We need to keep it the same, but let's be a little more intentional about it. And how are we going to do that? Hey, we haven't been having coffee breaks lately. Where we're at in our life right now, what does that look like, and what can we commit to?
Well, and one of the things, I guess, to say specifically about the coffee break for us, and take this as an example because, as we've learned, we're not the same as Tony and Lisa. They're not the same as you. None of us are the same. None of us have the same relationship. So you've got to work out what works for you. But for us, what we did after we got that first coffee break on the calendar, it wasn't, I didn't feel like it was enough for us to just have it on the calendar because calendars can be ignored.
That's true. Yeah.
So what we did is at the end of that coffee break, we decided, okay, when are we doing our next one? It doesn't have to be the same time, but let's make sure that we're both, our calendars are free so we don't schedule something else over the coffee break. And so we decided to just, would that be like basically knitting the coffee breaks together and scheduling the next one specifically at the end of the one you just completed.
And that's working. I think that's worked really well. We're not calculating like, oh, it's been a week, because our goal originally was we're going to do a coffee break once a week. But now that we're doing it the way we're doing it, it's working out so much better because it may be a week, it may be a week and a half, or it might be actually
3 days.
3 days in between, because that's happened recently. And that is okay because it's working, because it's keeping us now in a cycle and a groove of being able to continue to do them. And the same thing actually for these YouTube videos. That was another thing. If you go back and look, there's a little space in time where it was holidays and we're working on getting that book published, and we weren't staying consistent with these videos. And that's another thing at our state of our marriage conversation or coffee break that we had. We kind of combined the two that week, is that we said, okay, what's working right now, or actually what was working before isn't working now. So what are we going to do that's going to work for our life now? And we discovered that what works for these videos is for us to do them as impromptu videos. And it's working. When we're out and about, this morning we went and we got blessed and lucky enough to meet another couple in the One Extraordinary Marriage family. They live locally, so we went to breakfast with them. And so I brought the tools that we needed to be able to do our video. And it's like, look, we're out, we're dressed, we're looking good, we're happy. It's time to do a video. Looking
good subjective, but
hey, you look good. You look
well.
amazing.
You do too.
Thank you. We'll get in a minute.
So to come back around to the topic, though, I guess the result of the reset is that we have been more consistent with all those things that we had previously slacked on.
Yeah.
And like Tammy said, on fire, and just doing the things that we knew we needed to do, we knew we wanted to do, but just weren't. And so would you say that's pretty much, what would you want to say to wrap up this video?
I would just want to say that when you're feeling like you're struggling, first, you're not alone. That's kind of the whole point of our ministry, really, is to really show people that they're just not alone in their struggles. And Aaron and I just wrote a book, and we've talked about how much we've grown from, oh my gosh, even just 6 years ago to now, who we are as a completely, radically changed couple. And that came out of transparency and learning from another couple who was transparent. And that's what we're trying to do now with these videos and with our book. And so the idea here is that you're not alone. So if you are struggling in an area where maybe months ago you were doing really well and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, we're doing this again, like how have we taken 2 steps back, is that you'll bounce back faster than you think you will, as long as you find ways to take action to do that. And so definitely,
another way to put it is just persevere and just keep resetting and just keep moving forward. Because if at any time we would have started this and then stopped, say 3 years ago, we'd be in the same spot we were 3 years ago, if not worse. And so we're at the place we are now because we have kept moving forward, even if there's times when you stall or stagnate or just stop moving.
Take
same
step
thing.
backs,
Stop moving forward or take a step back. It's true. Once you reset and start moving forward again, I guess in a way, kind of snap back to
Mm-hmm.
where you're wanting to be relatively pretty quickly.
Yeah. Like I can't imagine, like I actually looked back at kind of the writing that I had done about where we were and just the frustration that we were feeling. And looking back now, I'm like, wow, like that was only 2 or 3 weeks ago, and look what we're at now. And so it's good. So just if you ever have any questions, or you have any comments about what we're doing, our YouTube videos, or even about anything we say, like, oh, they mentioned coffee break, I want to know more about what that looks like, or more about intimacy lifestyle, anything that we talk about, you can email us at that's theirs, asoldoutmarriage@gmail.com, and then you can subscribe also.
So if you like these videos, click like, subscribe, push the notification bell, and then and if you think anybody else would be benefit from these videos, please forward them, repost them, do whatever you can to help anybody else.
Yeah. All right, you guys, have a good afternoon, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.